Hello guys, it is me again, it's HorrorFan34, and welcome back to another video. So basically, I'm continuing on with the franchise of the Die Hard films, continuing on this series of reviews. Now we are getting on to the third film of the franchise. Of course, I reviewed the first two films already. Now let's get on to my second favorite of the franchise. Die Hard with a Vengeance. So, Die Hard with a Vengeance was a film that was released in 1995, 5 years after the second film. And John McTiernan comes back once again to direct Die Hard with a Vengeance. Now, going on, like I said before, I've already mentioned John McTiernan as a director in general when I reviewed the first film, but in case you haven't seen that film review, John McTiernan as a director is a director who I wish would come back and do more movies. I know he's had a lot of problems and things like that, but I think he's a pretty solid director. I mean, Rollerball was awful, and I think that was the last film he did, and that was a god-awful movie, Rollerball. Very, very bad remake of the great original film with James Caan, but I think John McTiernan has done a lot of really good movies in his career. You know, the first Die Hard with a Vengeance, Predator, Last Action Hero, The Hunt for Red October. So I think John McTiernan does have a really solid resume of movies, and I think Die Hard with a Vengeance is probably my second favorite film that he has done, behind the first Die Hard. Now, I know originally with Die Hard 2, John McTiernan wanted to do Die Hard 2, but he couldn't do it because of The Hunt for Red October at that time. So they got Rennie Harlan to do Die Hard 2. But John McTiernan comes back to do Die Hard with a Vengeance. And I think he might have done this after he did Last Action Hero. I believe so. So, yeah, John McTiernan coming back to direct. Bruce Willis once again reprises his role as John McClane. And you also have Samuel L. Jackson, Jeremy Irons, and a few other people. And Die Hard with a Vengeance basically, it takes place after the events of the second film, where McClane's back in New York. Him and his wife have pretty much gone almost like their separate ways, pretty much. And then McClane finds out there's this serial bomber going around New York, and he's planting bombs, and he's bombing up this area, and this area, and this area. So then basically, it comes to this whole thing where he wants to play a game of Simon Says with John McClane. So then he drops John McClane off in Harlem, and McClane is wearing something offensive. I'm not going to say what it is, but if you've seen the movie, then you know what I mean. And all these guys are in, he's in Harlem, and and you have Zeus Carver, played by Sam Jackson, ends up saving him, and basically it's a buddy team up between McClane and Zeus Carver. Sam Jackson and Bruce Willis trying to take down Simon, the bomber. His name's Simon, played by Jeremy Irons. And you come to find out that Simon is Hans Gruber's brother, Simon Gruber, who's basically trying to exact revenge on John McClane because of what happened in L.A. with Hans, being defeated by John McClane. And it's basically Sam Jackson and Bruce Willis going from point A to point B across New York City, trying to stop Jeremy Irons and things like that. And that's pretty much what the entire film is about. And I think this film just has a lot of energy to it. It's a really fast-paced movie, a lot of really great action in the movie. I think the chemistry between Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson is just off the charts. Sam Jackson easily I'd probably say my favorite Sam Jackson movie, because I think Sam Jackson just has so much of a personality to him as Zeus Carver. He's very entertaining, he has great lines, and the whole banter between him and Bruce Willis is just so well done. Especially, when Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson are in this taxi and they're driving through Central Park, and and Sam Jackson's like, "What are you trying to hit those people?" And Bruce Willis is like, "No, well, maybe that mine, maybe." So the film does have a little bit of humor in there as well. So I think when those two are on screen together, it's fantastic. And Jeremy Irons as Simon is fantastic. I mean, he's easily my second favorite villain of the franchise behind Hans Gruber. I think Jeremy Irons plays Simon Gruber so well. And just like with Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber, Jeremy Irons has a lot of personality to his villain. So like kind of like with Hans Gruber, he has like a personality to him. Like Alan Rickman has had a lot of fun with his role as Hans Gruber. Same thing with Jeremy Irons. And they both have fun with their roles. And Jeremy Irons, I want to play a game with Lieutenant McClane. Simon says, "Congratulations, you're still alive." Jeremy Irons just plays Simon so well, and fantastic villain. And like I said, a lot of really well done action pieces in the movie, especially in the subway. When McClane has to save all these people on the train, the whole with the taxi. A lot of really fun action sequences, just a lot of fun, and it's directed very well by John McTiernan. And of course, I have to get into the ending. I mean, the spoilers if you haven't seen the ending. It's just like with the end of the first Die Hard, where McClane only had 2 bullets left. He had one for the one guy and the other one for Hans Gruber. Same thing with this movie. He has 2 bullets left. He's down to 2 bullets, and and basically, Jeremy Irons and the woman that he's with is trying to get away in this helicopter, and McClane has 2 bullets left, and you see the helicopter like hovering above him, and it's like near like some like wires, like those electrical wires, and McClane sees that, and then and Bruce Willis says, John McClane says one of the most badass lines in the whole movie, right before he kills Jeremy Irons. Because basically what McClane does is that he uses his last 2 bullets to shoot the electrical wires, so that way the wires will get caught on the helicopter, so that way the helicopter will crash and it explodes. Jeremy Irons and the woman try to get away, but the wires get caught on the helicopter, and the helicopter explodes, and you get the whole yippee-ki-yay. But like the badass line that Bruce Willis says right before he kills Jeremy Irons is like, Bruce Willis is looking up at Jeremy Irons, he's about to get away, and then he kind of looks this way and he sees the wires, and then Jeremy Irons looks up and sees what Bruce Willis is seeing, and then Bruce Willis just points the gun at the wires and he goes, "Say hello to your brother." Bang, bang, and then the wires get caught on the helicopter and the helicopter explodes, and just a really badass line right before you take out the villain. "Say hello to your brother." I mean, granted, I know I spoiled the ending, but who hasn't seen Die Hard with a Vengeance? I mean, even if I told you the ending, still go out and go see this. If you haven't seen any of the Die Hard films, but I highly doubt. I mean, like, who hasn't seen Die Hard or some of the Die Hard films in general? These are just really entertaining films, especially this one. Very entertaining film, a lot of fun action. Like the cast. Very solid direction by John McTiernan. A lot of great lines of dialogue. I think the chemistry between Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson's great. Who would later do Unbreakable together, and of Glass and things like that. Jeremy Irons plays a really great villain in Simon. And overall, I think Die Hard with a Vengeance just has a lot going for it. It's just a very entertaining film. And I know when I talked about the ending, there was an alternate ending that I think it's on this Blu-ray, and it's also on the DVD, because all the features from the DVDs were carried onto this Blu-ray for all the movies. So the alternate ending is on the set, and I really don't understand what they were going for with this ending, because it just doesn't seem like it would fit in a Die Hard movie. Because the alternate ending with the movie is, I'm glad that the one they went with, with the helicopter exploding and things like that, but the alternate ending to me just seems really out of place for being in a Die Hard film, where in the alternate ending, it's like some time passed by and Jeremy Irons got away, and Bruce Willis got kicked off the force, and he has this whole thing playing like Russian roulette, and basically, granted, Jeremy Irons still dies in the alternate ending, but it was just way more different and all that stuff. I mean, it was just like a little game that McClane played with him, when you're kind of like playing Russian roulette, and like if he guesses wrong, like they'll draw, and if he guesses right, guesses wrong, like that kind of thing. But it just doesn't seem like it would fit in a Die Hard movie. I'm glad the one they went with in the theater version because it's more fun. You know, with the helicopter exploding, it's more fun. It's more entertaining. It's more energetic. More energy to it. More badass. I mean, granted, if they would have went with that alternate ending as the theatrical ending, we wouldn't have gotten that badass line. You know, say hello to your brother. We wouldn't have gotten that. And I'm glad they went with that ending. With the helicopter exploding. Because it's really fun. Really fun ending. Overall, Die Hard with a Vengeance is a fantastic sequel and easily my second favorite of the Die Hard films. So that is pretty much it for my review for Die Hard with a Vengeance. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Alright guys, take care.